everyone. Welcome to another edition of Coast Connections, coming to you from the traditional territory of the Snuneymuxw First Nations here in Nanaimo, BC. I had 104 really good reasons for getting out of bed this morning because I have the honor of sharing with you a national treasure, a 104-year-old World War II Army veteran who has raised almost $500,000 since he's 101 years old, all for Save the Children. So we're going to find out how this came to be and how you get to be 104 and still doing laps like this. Please welcome Captain John Hillman from Victoria. Hello, John.
Good morning, Elizabeth. Pleased to meet you.
Very nice to meet you on screen too, sir. And I want to welcome Jackie as well, Jackie Pruitt, who works there at the house at Oak Bay, that your assistant living residence there, John. So
and looks after me particularly, and arranges all my interviews and keeps me on track.
Well, someone's got to do it.
Yes, exactly.
And John, you have the pleasure of living there at the Carlton House of Oak Bay in beautiful Victoria, BC. How many years have you been there, John?
I've been here 5 years in September.
Mm-hmm.
And sorry?
And what do you like about Carlton House?
Oh, everything.
Ah.
I don't think that there's a place that I can describe it adequately.
Oh.
It's a home from home as far as people like me are concerned. Mm. My wife and I decided we lived in a condo in
Peach Drive.
In Peach Drive, yes. Mm-hmm. Okay, and we decided that we were coming to the end of our lives, and my wife and I were approaching 100 each, so we decided we would come to find an adequate place to live. Mm-hmm. And eventually we came across, well, accidentally, we came across Carlton House as the last resort. And then when my wife walked in here and she said, "That's where we're going to live."
Well, John, Carlton House clearly is treating you very well because you look amazing. So, Jackie, thank you for keeping John in such great shape there at Carlton House.
Thank you.
And John, 104 years old, how old did your parents live to be?
My parents lived to, my mother lived to the 70s. My father lived till well into the 80s. And my brother also lived into the 80s. My three sisters all lived till they were 90.
Wow. You are an outlier in your family, John. You are leading the charge here.
I am?
Yes. And you have been leading the charge, John, for Save the Children Canada as well. And we just want to congratulate you for the fundraising that you have been doing. And we have a live update on the amount of money that you've been raising by doing laps around the courtyard there at Carlton House. But before we reveal that, I just want to run, there's a little 1-minute video here of the bagpipers bagpiping you in as you started your walk this year. And John, that must have been such a pleasure for you to have to be piped in like that at your walk this year with the bagpipers.
The bagpiper was played by a new recruit into Carlton House, but he was not quite a war veteran, but certainly a military veteran, and he could play the pipe. He was a Scotsman, and he could play the pipes well. So he volunteered to lead us round because we started our other three episodes of saving the children. The parade we had outside. We kept that going with pipes, with military pipes. So it was quite an innovation to get one of our own members to play the pipes for us, and
he did a fantastic job.
he did a fantastic job.
Yeah.
Yes, he had a lovely uniform.
Yeah.
And he could really play the pipes well. So
I just want to let our viewers know that you started walking your laps around Carlton House at age 101, and you did 101 laps for your 101st birthday. And that
That's
has
right.
started this all the way to your 104th birthday.
that's right.
And what made you start this, John? What was your driving motivation here?
Oh, I'm an ex-Burma Star veteran, and I saw Captain Tom Moore, an English captain in the British Army. He was an army veteran from Burma, and he was on TV getting a lot of publicity for the fact that he was going to walk the length of his garden until he was 100 years old. And in doing so, he got a lot of notoriety, and he picked up something in the region of 39 million pounds sterling for the,
Wow.
for the, it was for the health service in England.
John?
I saw him on TV, and I saw him wearing the Burma Star medal, and I thought to myself, well, he's a Burma Star man, I'm a Burma Star man. Surely I can do something for some charity or another. And coincidentally with that, I saw pictures of children being evacuated all over Europe and various other places. And I thought, and then children needed education. They needed to be nurtured. They needed to be looked after. They were drinking bad water. In fact, they were living terrible lives. And I thought to myself, I can't do any better than start a charity for those children. And that is how we moved into Save the Children Fund. Yeah.
Captain John Hillman, that is a wonderful, wonderful thing that you have done. And Tom Moore in the UK might have raised 33 million pounds, but we have a total that you're racking up here that Jackie's going to update us on live as we speak. Your challenge this year was to raise $104,000 in 10 days, doing 10 laps a day. And Jackie, drum roll please. What is our total today, Jackie? How much has John raised this year?
John has achieved his goal. He's raised $104,638.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yes.
There you go.
Congratulations,
Very
John.
exciting.
The target was my age.
Yep.
Aw.
And I did that. The target was my age in each town.
Yep.
The first time, the second time, and the third time. And then, of course, we did the fourth time.
Yes. And
Now, whether or not we last the innings to go to the fifth time or not is in the lap of the gods.
Yeah, well
So,
said. And if you're
yeah,
not able to do it, John, I hope that we all do it on your behalf and we continue your legacy, because this is astonishing that you would do this and for such a good cause. And you're 104, so you have raised almost $500,000 now, getting up there over the 4 years that you've been walking. So we
yeah,
want to build that amount. There are viewers we've got online here how they can donate and help you, John, even achieve a higher target than you ever dreamed, because we're going to help carry this torch with you. So I'm just so proud to have you here. You're just a gem. So John, can I ask, when you were walking, were you wearing your slippers or were you wearing combat boots? How are you?
I was wearing comfortable shoes.
Yes, I bet.
And this veteran's uniform,
Mm-hmm.
I always wear the veteran's uniform because I'm particularly proud of my achievements there.
Mm-hmm.
Although I'm not going into any details of that, other than the fact that I spent several ages of my life abroad from England. I served some time in England, but most of my time I served in accordance with the Reform campaign medals that I am approaching there. Mm-hmm. And they are medals which were in France in 1939 to 40, and then they were Africa was 1943 to 42, 42 to 43. Burma was 1944 to 46, and Italy was in the middle of all that. And I served my time with the Royal Air Force, and I'm particularly proud of having done that.
And John,
sorry?
I just want to thank you for your service and help to bring peace to the world. And that's amazing that you had such a long service with the British Air Force. And also you did not come off easy there. You had to bail out of your Lancaster plane, and you had to escape from the coast of France, I believe it was. Tell us about the Lancashire, I believe it Lancashire ship that you narrowly escaped boarding.
The Lancaster.
Thank you.
The Lancaster.
Thank you.
Yeah, we were abandoned in 1940 in the Ardennes, and my squadron was almost annihilated. The squadron was returned to France. There were 60 of us left behind to clear up and burn up or anything that the Germans might have made capital of, and we then had to make our own way back to England, which meant, of course, that we had to travel all across France by road, by walking, and we took 3 weeks under the direction of a young officer, and he rode a motorcycle continuously to find out where the Germans were, and when he found out where they were, he guided us at night away from there, and eventually we were heading to catch the Lancaster, which was a troop ship in Saint-Nazaire. Unfortunately, the day before we were due to reach Saint-Nazaire, the Lancaster was sunk by German bombs and lost about 3,000 to 4,000 crews. And we were left up on our own, and we had to find our way back. So we with the aid of this officer, once again, we landed into Brest in Brittany, and we were managed to board a British destroyer, which was loading extra people there, and it brought us back to Falmouth in England. And that's how I got back to England
Wow.
from France.
John,
That was, sorry.
you are one very durable soul to have survived all that and narrowly escaping death there. And also, my friend, you have also battled cancer twice and come through that. And look at you, you're the picture of health today. So, John,
Yes.
what would you say to the oldest person in Canada right now is 112 years old. She was born in British Columbia in July, and she'll be 113 soon. What would you like to say to a fellow super centenarian like yourself here?
Well, I think all I can say to her is good luck and continue going the way you're going. Please make a room for me, because that's my aim, is to go on after 4.
Keep going.
Keep
Yeah.
going, yeah. And John, what fuels you? Like what sparks joy in your life at 104 years old? Where do you find joy every day?
Mainly people. I'm in a residence now of a lot of people, almost 100 people, and I meet them every day. I've got to know most of them by name and by first name, and I continue to do that. I count them my friends, and I count them to also count me as their friend.
How lovely. And Jackie, how has John contributed to the spirit of community there at the Carlton House of Oak Bay and the walks that he's been doing that has garnered so much international attention?
John's walks have been a really tremendous thing here at Carlton House. We already have a really great sense of community here, but what John has been doing over the past 4 years now has really been something that everybody can get behind. And it's been really beautiful to see everyone cheering towards a common goal and wanting the same thing for their friend, and everybody wanting him to reach his fundraising target. And yeah, it's beautiful to see the support and the friendships. And when we have the fundraisers, the residents, it's mainly the residents out there. They're out there, they're holding John signs, shaking them, cheering, clapping for him. They're donating, they're telling their friends and family, they're feeding you ideas. No, maybe you could try this or that. It's really, it's been a really bright light in our community, John and his fundraisers. It's been wonderful.
Oh, that's why you're a national treasure, John. And
Yeah.
not only a national treasure, but Princess Anne mentioned you yesterday. Tell us about that, Jackie.
Oh, so I believe it was last week. There was a gala taking place in Nova Scotia, and Princess Anne was in attendance, and she was presenting a check to Save the Children. Save the Children is Princess Anne's favorite charity. And when she got up on the stage in front of about 600 people at the gala, the first words out of her mouth were, I'm paraphrasing here, I can't quite remember, but it was, what a wonderful thing Mr. Hillman is doing. And she said to the Save the Children representative that she was handing the giant check to, please pass on my sincerest thanks and appreciation to Mr. Hillman. And that is very special because John is a Brit.
Yeah.
He's from Wales, and it's very meaningful, I think, to have recognition from
Yes,
the royal family.
that was something. Yes.
Yeah.
How did that make you feel, John?
It made me feel very proud,
Hmm.
very proud, and it felt although I say this now with all the deference in the world, I am a Canadian. I've become a Canadian in September of this year,
Oh.
and uh, but I still have that aching feeling of South Wales
Mm.
in
That's where
my
your heart
body.
is. Hmm.
Yes,
Yeah, your
I'm
heart.
afraid I'm a patriarch.
Mm. And we're happy to have you, John. Yeah. And John, your lovely wife Irene, of over 70 years, passed away when you were doing your laps, I believe, in the second year when you were 102.
In the second year,
Yeah.
yes.
And you kept
Yes.
on going, my friend. You kept on going.
Well, I had the choice of going uh, or going to see my wife. Well, I managed to see my wife, but I also managed to complete the laps. And I just made it a duty to do the laps for the children, and so I kept on it. I just kept on.
Wow.
Um,
She would be
and
very, she would be
yeah.
very proud of you, John, as are we all. She would be very
Yeah.
proud of you. You're just a wonderful human being. One of the key factors in aging and becoming a centenarian, super centenarian like yourself, is one's ability to manage stress in their life. It doesn't matter, apparently, it doesn't matter what you drink, if you smoke. We've got people living to 106 who smoke a cigar every day. So I think that your mental attitude and your fortitude that you've demonstrated over the years have been your energy that has fueled you and your ability to manage stress. Would you agree with that? Are you an optimistic man?
Yes, I am. I'm optimistic enough to continue as I am, and to continue with all the people that I know. And if the circumstances are such that at 105 we're prepared to do it again, okay, we'll do it again.
I like your spirit, sir. John Hillman, what scares you? Does anything scare you at this age? You've seen and done it all.
No, it's just my natural Welsh nature, I think.
Do women scare you, John? Have women ever scared you?
No, one woman stirred me all my life. 79 and a half years we were together, and we made a do of it. We made a go of it, and we both loved it as much as each other.
You were blessed. Now, John, do you drink? Do you smoke?
I smoked until I was 82 years
Yeah.
of age, and I was on the golf course one day smoking a pipe, and I thought, my goodness, I'm not going to reach the top of the hill. And so I gave it up. I just gave it up like that. And but I had smoked all from the age of 18. And but I anyway I did give it up, and I've never looked back on it. So I don't intend to.
John, Jackie tells me that you like to have oatmeal in the morning, but you actually put scotch on it, not milk.
No, somebody's telling a fib somewhere.
Oh, that would be disgusting.
No.
You do like scotch, though.
Last night we had a sherry party for the new arrivals here, and I said mine would be a single malt, but it didn't happen. I I got a sherry.
Yeah.
And we always make sure that when John completes his final lap of his annual fundraiser, that there's a nice glass of scotch waiting for him at the finish
Oh.
line.
Yes.
Terrific.
I've been a Scotch lover ever since I could afford it.
Well, I think all the stocks just went up in all the Scotch companies. 104, you're endorsing Scotch. It must do something, John.
Yes.
John, do you like
Yes.
chocolate? Do you enjoy chocolate?
Yes.
Well, we have a gift for you from a company called Peace by Chocolate, because you, sir, are a peacemaker like no other. Being a veteran
Yeah.
and now raising money for Save the Children, we want to send you a lovely box of Peace by Chocolate. This company was bombed out of Syria. They came to Canada as refugees. They set up in Nova Scotia, and they're now one of the 4th largest chocolate companies in Canada. And you, sir, are going to get one of their best boxes.
Well, that sounds marvelous. And incidentally, there must be a link there, because part of my overseas service in the Middle East was in Syria.
Wow.
Yeah, not very long, but it was. I served about 3 months in Aleppo,
Mm-hmm.
but that was in the course of the war, not
Yeah.
during the uprisings, the
Yes.
recent uprisings.
And John, one of the areas that your money that you're raising for Save the Children is, of course, going to Syria to help the children there, as well as in Ukraine and other war spots in the world. So you, sir, are a gem. You are a treasure. Are there any closing words you'd like to say to our viewers before we wrap up our interview today, John?
I would just like to say that the whole episode of my 4 years has been on behalf of the children. I have gained a certain amount of notoriety, a certain amount of welcome from people that I know, people that I don't know, people that want to know me, but I'm afraid that it's one of those things that I have to live with now.
Well, John,
Yes.
you have earned every bit of attention that you have received, sir, for all the good that you're doing out in the world. And we just want to thank you today for coming and sharing your stories with us. We wish you a long life, dear sir. A longer life. And Jackie, thank you so much for coming on today as well and facilitating our interview. John, we look forward to delivering some chocolates to you and catching up with you next year when you start your 105. We'll be walking with you.
Thank you, Elizabeth.
Thank you.
We look forward to that.
Thank you, John. Thank you so much. And to our viewers, please go on to savethechildren.ca and donate to John's cause and help this incredible human being even raise more money for the good that he's doing in the world. It's been an honor and a pleasure to introduce to you this national treasure. And I just want to say thank you, John, for your service. You are leaving us all with a glowing heart here in Canada.